Hello everyone, it's me, Lancer737, and today we're going to be taking a look at Amazon Luna. It's a very new game streaming service that Amazon's providing. I would have to say, from the very get-go, it is better than Google's, and from my understanding, it's about dead, if not completely dead. It costs like around $7 to $8 a month, I guess, depending on where you live, to stream their select catalog of video games that you can play. It's pretty cool. Let's see. To do it, well, you don't necessarily need it, but part of the full thing requires a controller. It's the Luna controller. If you notice, it looks an awful lot like an Xbox controller. It is very, very similar. I have a Night Force controller here. This is an example of the Night Force controller. Sorry about that, it's a little bit dirty. I haven't used it in a while. Been using my other Xbox controllers. Some of them are kind of worn down at this point. That one is probably getting close to it. But anyway, this comes in a really, really nice box. Let's take a look at it. Again, this is not required, but I got it just because it is kind of recommended. It is a very nice controller. It feels heavier than an Xbox controller. Even an Elite controller, I feel like this is heavier than an Elite controller. Comes with instructions on how to use it, how to install it. There's different ways that you can use this with your computer. And one of them, which is the way I'm using it, requires you to actually set it up, and it streams its commands, the button commands, through your router and then into the game. Normally I would not actually prefer that. I'd actually prefer connecting it up directly, which there is an option to do that. I just did not see any cords on sale. This does come in a really nice box. I feel like it's even better than most of the Xboxes boxes, controller boxes, excluding again the Elite. So I'm going to be hanging on to this, definitely. It's a really, really nice one. Princess Luna right there. Fitting to have her in this. So, what we got here, like I said, it's extremely similar to the Xbox controller, although I think in some ways it's actually cooler, mainly because I'm a purple-holic, so it having lots of purple details really nice. What this has that most other Xbox controllers don't have is this very, very, how should I say it? It's not a smooth grip. It has a lot of texture to it. It's very nice. It's a very nice anti-sweat grip. I have not had any trouble with it at all. I think the only Xbox controller I've had a lot of trouble with, that if I'm playing it a lot, is the Rock Candy controller, which I normally use with games on my computer nowadays. It's actually a good one to use for World of Warplanes, believe it or not. So, let's get this started. If you already have this programmed, no, never mind. If you don't have this programmed, you'll turn this on, it'll have a flashing brown light go on the circle right here. It's trying to find a network. So, once you have that set up, and it is a bit of a pain in the butt, instead, once it is hooked up to the network, you'll just hold it down, it'll vibrate, and it'll glow bluish purple. It's searching for it, but once it finds it, it'll just completely pulse it. Now, what's interesting is when you're playing on the Luna app, this circle button right here, it actually treats it just like, hold on a second, treats it just like this button right here. Even shows the same icons, shows the icons more for the Xbox controller than the Luna one, ironically enough. Oh, and there's a special feature that the other ones don't have, is a Alexis button. I'm not quite sure if the Alexis technology is flat out built into it. I've tried using it. Nothing happened, so I'm assuming you have to have an Alexis to use this, which I guess I'm okay with because that would kind of screw up things. I actually am a big fan of Kinect, so if they had a Kinect system like this for a controller, I would be okay with it. Oddly enough, when you're looking at this with your naked eye, it's actually the blue that is in the controller is more purplish than what's showing up on the camera. So I'm kind of interested in seeing what it's going to look like when it turns a more purplish purple when it's active. So after beta testing with this controller, I feel like this is actually superior to the Xbox One controller, excluding the Xbox Elite controller. This thing is just, it's sick. There's no way that this is going to be beat. I love this thing. Actually, hold on a second. Okay, so the Elite actually is a little bit heavier. For some reason, I was thinking it wasn't. The Elite just not going to be beat. But the colors on this Luna controller is pretty sick in itself, so I like it more than most of the other controllers for Xbox. And I'm assuming also decals should be able to fit this really well if you want to get a custom decal. In my case, I would get like a human Princess Luna, a really cool one, or just, pony version of her, whatever. But anyway, this is what we're going to do. We're going to log into the Luna app. You're going to see the loading and brand pop up. Please wait a moment for Princess Luna. So, see right here, the controller is now detecting that the app is on. And you'll get a notification that it's loading into the app, and then it'll change. It'll stay solid purple, a really solid purple near the top. Once it's confirmed. Yeah, it's loading it right now. And that's what's interesting because, like I said, with the naked eye, the color is more purple. It's definitely much more purple than it is through the screen right now. But they have a very nice selection of games. You can still use the mouse at this point. So this is a selection of games that we have in the library right now. I've been testing out various different ones. My favorite one so far has been Star Wars Pinball. I've been trying out Metro. And I've also been trying out Contra, although I'm never going to be good at that game ever. I never was before. I never will be. I still want to try out, let's see. Where is it? Wouldn't mind trying out that game. Ghost of a Tale. That looks pretty good. Hopefully it is good. They don't have very many games on their selection right now, and you can get a special separate catalog of games from Ubisoft, and the subscription for that's much greater. Now, all that being said, this system does have some problems. It is flat out streaming the game to your computer. So if you have any internet connection issues, the game's going to go out the window just about. And I had that problem mostly with more of the current gen games. It's not really an issue with the pinball game and games based off older games, except for one. There was a weird bug for Castlevania. For some reason, you can't move and shoot, and also you can't. The controls for the arcade, like the actual arcade cabinet version of Contra, are really bad. They're really bad, and also it's the ability to switch the controls is glitched in some of the Contra games, which is kind of weird in itself. And then also, since, like I told you, there's many different ways you can hook this up to the app so you can play it. And the one I'm using is for it to be digitally linked to my router. So if you're having any router issues, you have the potential of having two different forms of lag. Input lag because your router's out of date, or maybe there's a connection issue, maybe there's a signal being jammed, and then also the signal being jammed with your game streaming. So I would recommend this over Google's, especially if Google's was still in operation, which from my understanding it's not. I would not recommend this over the Xbox's Ultimate, what is it called? They have a special thing now where it's Ultimate Game Pass. I would pick that over this for many different reasons. It's more expensive, but the games that you like, you flat out can buy at a discount when you have the thing, and you get all the deals. Well, it might be for select games, but the DLC for the games I have played was flat out free, and even when my membership ended, it still remained free. And you can save a lot of money, tons of money with the Xbox Ultimate Pass. And like I said, you just download it and you keep it for forever once you've decided to buy it. Or maybe you don't want to buy it. You're just renting it and you beat the game and, move on to the next one. But that's the key thing. On the Xbox, you flat out keep it. Unfortunately, on Amazon Luna, you don't. I'll recommend they make that change, but I'm not sure they ever will. Anyway, the service itself, I guess I would give it 3 out of 5 Luna stars. The games on it are fun, but the issues are the streaming. And technically, I don't think there's anything exclusive that's going to be coming to the Amazon Luna. Haven't seen anything exclusive that they had on the Google Stadia. And also, there's also the issue if something were to happen to your account, you lose all your access to those games. Or with Google, and it would be a nightmare with Google, because it's like once you've committed one misstep with them, you lose all your Google stuff. You'll lose your YouTube, your Google account, and with them, all your Google games. So I imagine something similar like that happening if you have Amazon Luna. Let's say a sale goes wrong, and there's a dispute between you and the person you bought something from on Amazon, and it puts a really bad mark on your account even though you didn't do anything. Well, I imagine the potential it could be just as bad as what it's like on Google, and suddenly all your Amazon stuff is gone. Although in this case, it's kind of strange, and it's another reason why Amazon Luna is superior to the Google version. You're not buying the games ever. You're just paying for the service, which is kind of cheap. On the Google one, from my understanding, you buy the games, but it still technically is not yours because you have to stream it, and if they feel like removing your account, it's all gone. And the controller can be used for other things, apparently, although there's a bug right now. But you can use this for other games on your computer, and this is a sweet controller. For me, the Luna controller gets a 4 out of 5. It's too hard to beat an Elite controller. But after the Elite controller, the Luna controller is just a really sick, sweet controller. And I recommend it just for other things, especially once the bug is fixed where it will work with other stuff. I saw one person complaining it wasn't working on Steam games. Hopefully that's fixed. And if not, you can use this special app that I have on my computer that translates keyboard commands into controller commands and vice versa. So imagine you can do that too, or something to that effect. Anyway, this is Lancer737 signing off. This is what I think about Amazon Luna after beta testing it.
Most wonderful. full of knights.